Hi everyone, thank you for coming. I did bring my daughter today on a basis, no, she's there, on a basis that literally at least I have an audience of one, but now I'm overwhelmed. So anyway, I'm going to talk about commercialisation of solutions, and this is interactive as it can be because there's only a few of us. We'll make it intimate and interesting if we can. But I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence and a couple of academic approaches that are going on currently and how you look at commercialising those solutions, and maybe some of the issues with the solutions that are being generated. But you know you made it in life when next to the title of your talk there's free parking and free entry and free biscuits available. So I don't know whether it's for the talk or for the biscuits, but thank you very much. So I do get bored by the sound of my own voice, but I'm doing this as a substitute because the Chief Technology Officer was offered the chance to talk and then he declined it. So you've got me, unfortunately. He didn't decline it, it wasn't available at this time. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I've done 25 years in law enforcement, and I've done everything that you see on TV that's exciting. Yeah, but essentially I've never been shot at, which is either a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Depends on the end of the talk, really. And then I've done 5 years in running software companies. Essentially, software companies, one around smart metering for electrical vehicles and yachts, one's around robotics and automation, and the managing director of the company, OSIRT now, is around open source intelligence capture, which approaches something into my old life. But one of the other things I do is I mentor, coach, and assess academic solutions that are going to be commercialised across the UK through government organisations. So that's what we're going to cover today. And again, I'll go through this presentation. So think around academic cybersecurity solutions. So I'm going to start on a quite positive note. I want to keep it quite light-hearted and enjoyable today. So let's have a think about the world we live in. So what have we got? Climate change killing us all slowly at the moment, and it's getting worse. So even better, we've got wars popping up all over the world whenever we blink an eye at the moment. So this is a state of the world as I see it. Diseases, coronavirus, had a massive impact on life across the world, and then poverty, famine, so all the cheery things in life, and the challenges that the world has at the moment is all these things, and all of these things then result in mass migration, let's say. So if you fixed all the other stuff behind it, maybe you'd affect that. But I'm not going to talk about boats, I'm not going to talk about migration, but essentially it's a challenging environment for the young people growing up in this world that we've left behind for them. So, solutions to it. Who do you think? Do you think this lot of individuals are going to help save the world, solve the problems? Personally, and this is only universities for open debate, aren't they? And for intellectual thinking, but it's an old picture, and maybe Boris is up there, so I should talk about Peppa Pig, but I won't do. But my opinion on that is, I don't think they're the solution to the problem, because what they do is they affect how we live, as in whether we've got more money in our pocket, whether we have to queue so long, hospitals and all that sort of thing, but they don't change the way we live. And what I believe, is going to change the right. What I believe is going to change the way we live is big business, because essentially we're all operating lives differently, and also science. So this is academia, science, BCS, whatever. So big business, we've all changed the way we live, in the basis that we've all got gadgets. Amazon influences how we shop, how we operate. Apple operates. Microsoft changes the way we're doing things. So all of the problems that we're facing, I believe, is going to be fixed by those two areas. But it could also be amplified by those areas. Big business is driven by commercial achievement and two-point greed. Yeah, because essentially it takes over the environment, it swallows up things. And big business is driving current thinking around technology and changing it. However, science cured coronavirus and medical ailments and everything like that. Science creates new developments, creates maths models, creates algorithms, creates solutions that make things better. So everybody in academia is in a position to shape the future, not the people that lead and tell us how to live, essentially. So, looking at that, academia, science, everything needs to deliver the future. Big business will deliver the future, but the challenge is these things. If academia is going to lead the way and science is going to lead the way of how all of these problems are solved, then it's got to operate alongside tech business as fluidly as it can do. So look at how it changes, and this is the challenge faced by academia and science and how it operates. Is tech, the speed of change is significant at the moment, isn't it? Currently, every time you go and purchase something, there's a new product for sale, which is slightly more expensive or even slightly cheaper because it's outdated. So tech changes that speed. What about business? Right, we're going to do a little bit higher or lower. Faster or slower?
Faster.
Faster. Business change faster than tech. So, to be honest, there's always a problem answering a question in a lecture, because the person giving the lecture is always looking for the answer that they think is the right answer. You may well be right, but I think business changes slower than tech. The reason is risk. Business does not want to risk their profits at all. So in developing software all the time, it's chucking millions of pounds into AI technology, new solutions. However, it is going at a rate of change, and it's introducing that change slower than tech is, because it doesn't want to risk cybersecurity issues, it doesn't want to delivery issues and all that sort of thing. I run 3 small companies delivering technology across the board, but engaging with people to deliver solutions is so complex these days because everybody's scared of losing business. So I'm going to give you the answer for the third one. Thank you very much for answering this. Academia, though, operates at a slower level than business and tech, but they're part of the solutions for the future. Why is that? Because if you're doing a doctorate and you're doing a specialist subject and it takes you 3 to 4 years to deliver an idea that's so focused, so research focused, then tech would have advanced 15 times faster in that period in time. So academia needs to evolve, and the way I'm going to look at these intelligent young people here, although you're all intelligent and probably younger than me. But essentially, if you're going to deliver solutions, you've got to keep up with the rate of change. And that's why when you're producing new ideas, you talk about your AI model, you're producing new ideas, you've got to produce them at a rate of change which keeps up with the market, because if you wait, you will get left behind. And that's the challenge with new solutions these days. So Paul, you asked me how long this is going to take. This is the first time I've ever delivered this talk because I was a substitute. So if it takes 15 minutes, when you're lucky, if it takes an hour and a half, then you're unlucky. So we'll see. Anyway, but so current emerging cybersecurity solutions. One of the things I told you is I meant to assess academic solutions to deliver new commercial solutions across the UK. And this is a pamphlet that's part of a sponsorship program that I assess on. And it invests money into scientific thinking to commercialise it and deliver solutions into the environment. And the current thinking around these sorts of things is because of the pace of change that I talked about. You're talking about doctors and you're talking about masters, you're talking about a period of 3 to 4 years of thinking. It can be quite a static process of delivery and thinking. Now, the main solutions, again, produced by, we're talking academic institutions all across the whole of the UK, is network anomalies. So, network anomalies, we all know what, well, I say we all know. Essentially, a contact mine runs dark trace. So, I've got solutions here that people are delivering, but it's all based on the same theories that we watch a network, we watch cyber security, and we look for what's operating differently. As a result of that, if it looks different, we stop it. And that's how we approach in cyber security solutions at the moment. And so here's one that I actually like. It's done by a friend of mine, but academia, doctors and professors are thinking of solutions to change the way we operate, and it's working on that basis. So this solution stands as the second line of defence, analysing problems such as changing the rate of operation, behavioural anomalies, machine health and safety, and risk to robotic operations. So what it does essentially is watches it, but if you're watching something, you have to watch it for a period of time, probably 3 to 6 months to see it operate normally, because there's so many changing tech, so many changing operations. But as a result of that, lots of scientific thinking is going, well, we'll watch it and we'll see if it behaves differently and then we'll stop it. Darktrace did that probably 5, 6, 8 years ago, and it's a £1 billion company. Now to convince somebody, another business, to operate a model that you've just brought along, when it really operates carefully, is a very difficult challenge. So if we're making academic solutions that are just copying what industry is doing, then we're already behind the curve. So that's network anomalies. A couple of years ago, blockchain, everybody talked about blockchain. Blockchain was academic solutions, and it's great, and it was a buzzword, and people were catching onto it. However, delivery of that, the buzzword has dropped a little bit, and people aren't looking at blockchain so much. However, I'm working with a solution at Oxford University that is looking at blockchain, because there's flaws in the ledger, and blockchain is all about the record of transactions and being completely accurate, but it's not as accurate as people think it is. So AI. So the other thing they're doing, everybody's doing, and that's why I was talking about putting the I to AI, is a solution, AI solution, that rapidly and autonomously generates attack graphs for threat modelling. It utilises an innovative technology to prioritise mitigation actions quicker and cheaper than any of its rivals. So who would buy that? Who understands that? Yeah, no? Okay. So this is academia commercialising solutions, right? Around AI, right? I'm going to read another one to you. So, a deep tech company offering specialist cybersecurity, B2B software and consultancy services. The aim is to provide a quick, intuitive, jargon-free software solution that reduces the risk analysis process from months to minutes. The system will allow users to rapidly design, analyse and report AI technology cyber risk. So who's going to buy that? You buy that? You like it? Okay, see, that's interesting because they just got a £3 million investment. So he's picked a winner over here. Stay close to him, by the way. And this is how confusing the AI picture is at the moment, right? People are producing the word AI and throwing it into everything. Photoshop has become AI. Yeah, so when you're dealing with AI, do we clearly understand what we're talking about when we're talking about AI? And to talk about AI now, and I have to say, jump on the AI bandwagon. If you're going to do anything there, young lady, I saw you back, she's quite young, obviously, or she looks that way, I don't know. But AI is going to lead the way for the future, and everybody is jumping on that bandwagon, and it's going to change at a rate of pace. But what we're dealing with right now with AI is not going to benefit the world like you think it is, I don't think. Because you've got to look at the history of the generation of AI. So, machine learning, right, was the earliest form of AI where we were making algorithms, teach machines to operate better, learn how humans operate, and deliver those actions and transactions in a competent way. That was about the 1950s and 60s. So this was the early development of AI. And then in the late noughties, early teens, it went to deep learning, right? So literally, it was unleashed. AlexNet was an AI neural network that was gathering information from all over the place, and it was learning a lot faster and a lot quicker than neural networks. And Peter talked about neural networks, and he's coding neural networks right now. But neural networks is essentially machines trying to operate the way a mind does, and multiple layers of identifying how decisions and operations occur. So, deep learning occurred early noughties, late noughties, early teens, right? So we had machine learning, we had the way operations occur, they're being replicated, we're just repeating human behaviour. And then we're learning from human behaviour, because deep learning is unleashed in the world and it was gathering all the information out in the world, right? And now it's gone to generative AI. What's an example of generative AI?
LLMs.
Sorry?
LLMs.
Yeah, LLM modules. ChatGPT. Right?
Can I just say something? You know what,
Yes.
Do you know what ChatGPT stands for?
No, go on.
It's generating pre-trained transformers. And do you know what the paper was? It came out in 1917. Do you know the transformer paper? I'm trying to find it out because I can't remember it. It's a very funny paper. I'll find it and I'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
But it was a big turning moment in neural networks. And ChatGPT in 1917, very big turning moment.
Right.
And now we've got GPT-4, GPT-4 Turbo, GPT-5.
Yes. But evolving, definitely evolving. So this is the history of AI. So what's it learned from? The way humans do things, and then it's gone to the way humans have delivered information to the world, what information they're delivering to the world, and now it's reproducing things as a result of all that learning. So, if we go back to my second slide, the world we live in, how's those humans delivering and how are we doing about the world we live in? Climate change, famine, war, all those sorts of things. So it's AI, only in my opinion, and it will be, well, I'm sure, is a massive future for us. But the thing is, it has learnt and reproduced from the way humans behaved and operated and delivered. Yeah. So my assessment is garbage in, garbage out. So, sorry.
I don't agree. Carry on.
You don't agree?
No.
Go on then. Why don't you agree?
I think ChatGPT has been what it called a paradigm change in AI.
Right.
In fact, I think with Google, they're still trying to catch up with Gemini and Bard and all that sort of thing, and they haven't caught up.
Yes.
And I think OpenAI, which has done ChatGPT, was really a big breakthrough. And I'll tell you why, actually, because I've been involved in AI really since the 1980s. And actually, people were writing models and things like that. It was all, you had to really actually enter most of the stuff in. It didn't really work.
Yeah.
But what's happened now with these large data centers, really large data centers,
Yes.
and they're actually getting these pre-trained transformer models. I'll try and get the actual paper for it. There's a really defined paper that they're actually linking in how to think, and that's very, very interesting. Now, you're right about garbage in, garbage out.
No, to be honest, like I say, it's a free learning environment, isn't it? And
I must find that paper.
So I never profess to be definitive deep dive into AI, because essentially this is my assessment of what we're producing and what I've experienced, and also how to deliver the future solutions into business. But from the evolution, so one of the solutions I deliver is charging software, electric vehicle charging software. Yeah, and the history of that business is because the way it evolved and developed, you had all sorts of rubbish plug sockets out across the country that were very early generation, but it was new technology, you had problems with it. And it was actually a plug point that needed smart software to deliver the solutions. However, the plug points were failing, so the software is failing, but it's all been driven by the hardware and not the software. But we know software in life these days delivers the smart solutions. So the history of product delivery is a significant factor for why it becomes. Although big business, right, they will talk to you now and say, yeah, it's going to expand the youth of today to concentrate on science, technology, deeper thinking, right? But they're creating solutions like prompt engineers. Prompt engineers are people that are going to train the AI to respond better than it is at the moment. So they generate career opportunities for people to become prompt engineers to train AI. Because at the moment, as I think, Peter doesn't agree with me, but such is life, and Pete might be right and I might be wrong. But it is essentially around the history and the development of AI that literally has led to the situation of what's being produced by big business. Big business will tell you it's creating free thinking models, and they are free thinking individuals and opportunities for the future of today, the youth of today, to think about different solutions. But if nobody has to really think about what they're doing and delivering, and they're getting it autonomously through solutions, I would say it dulls thinking, and it's about big business becoming big business. So what do you have to, if you're delivering AI models, what do you have to think about these days? The concerns are around privacy concerns is a massive issue for AI at the moment. Gathering data from all the way. Copyright violations. OpenAI set up as a charity, yes, until Microsoft got involved.
I don't know, I don't want to say anything about
Well, it operates as a charity. However, it's been hoovering of data, and now it's got a lot of lawsuits going through OpenAI at the moment. OpenAI is the organisation that delivered ChatGPT and everything like that. And they've recruited Al Gore's legal advisor now to challenge all of the copyright issues. So you produce an AI, think about the copyright. Data bias is another thing in regards to that, because it's doing deep learning. It's emerged from deep learning, significant data bias, and if you're hoovering up the whole of the world's information, it's difficult to decipher what's good and what's bad, unless it's performing brilliantly.
Oh, I agree with you, actually.
Sorry?
I do agree with you. I agree with you. So
No, it's, to be honest,
all the rubbish as well.
free thinking learning environments, I like that. At the end of the day, we go forward by debating, don't we? We don't go backwards by debating, not at all. Right, so in regards to that, transparency around the decision making is another thing that you have to think about when you deliver AI models, AI solutions. Young man, you seem like a very clever young man. So AI is of interest? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you're thinking about, Peter's got some very good solutions, by the way, you need Peter's on that. But when you're thinking about all these sorts of things, if machines are making the decisions, and I'm not going to talk about Terminator, I guess your mum knows Terminator, it's not the rise...
When I took the picture of this lecture, the advert that I saw when I was walking around work today, sent it home, I thought, is this the moment I'm turning my son into some sort of... Rise of the machine? Yeah. Yes. I did think that, and of course he won't really know.
You need to put on some weight if you're going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And take a boatload of steroids.
Sorry? No, don't take steroids. We can't condone that. But it's not the rise of the machines, but if machines are going to be making the decisions for us, we've got to look at how those machines are taking those decisions and understand how they're making those decisions and what it's producing, because it's going to affect life. It's going to affect everybody's life.
That's a very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because drones are killing people. If they start selecting target, Israelis using what's it called, picking something to identify targets is one of those scary ones.
So DALI is supposed to recognise images, isn't it?
Sorry?
DALI.
So
it's just the image recognition side of
Right.
this tool actually looked at people's how many WhatsApp groups they are in and shortlisting for target.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know, as you said, it's okay, Israel and USA, they have some more kind of checks and balances. What happens if it goes to the wrong state?
Am I going to upset everybody and everybody's going to go out crying? I hope that's not going to happen, is it? Because it's opportunity. Wherever there is challenge, there is opportunity. And it's how you shape that opportunity and how you react to the challenge that makes you an individual. And I'll tell you another story in a little while. But
actually, could I suggest something? I've got the paper now.
yes.
After generative AI, you want to put on, this is the definitive paper in 1917. And the paper
1917
1917 was produced. produced.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the paper is called, and you can look at that, Attention is All You Need.
2017.
Yeah. And it's to do with transformers. And it's transformers, which is, really, you should put transformers after or before generative AI. This is a critical actual moment. And that has really changed the whole thing about AI.
You think, as in,
That's what
more
ChatGPT
efficient
is.
operation?
Sorry?
Are you suggesting a more efficient operation?
Well, it's to do with large language models. And it's really how they've now got transformers working them out. And by pre-training them, then when you do an inquiry, like, you know, in the old days when you looked up a database,
Yeah.
you got your information back. Now you can look up these things and it's all pre-trained in them.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's really critical. But
I'm even doubtful of that because I've worked with a few contextual analysis companies.
yeah.
So he's trying to contextualise and understand language to identify behaviour and that sort of thing. Don't trust it because essentially when you do in academia, you know, negative, positives, positive, negatives, and that sort of thing. That assessment, I don't think it goes far enough to identify.
I would suggest you have a look at them because they really have changed them.
Yeah.
They're not as so binary as that.
Okay.
They're much more complex. So
We're going to chat and discuss and argue over a glass of wine one day. Not that I can go drinking a glass of water. Yes.
It's 2017.
2017.
2017, sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say 1917 now, so that's not over, isn't it?
Being 74, I think probably I'm living in the last century. 2017, correct.
Okay. I was going to say that academics damn smart, isn't it? 1917. But Terminator was what? Early 80s? Yeah. And Rise of the Machines. You know, it's going to happen. But fortunately, I won't be here to fight them. But
you should.
So, achieving commercial success. So we challenges of AI, challenges of academic solutions there, right? So you've got an idea. I'm pointing.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. Don't worry. A bad interactive lecture. A lecturer, when he invites the audience in, is obviously going to do very well. But you designed an academic solution. I just launched a new company with a professor, Joe Williams, and I'll talk about that at the end from here. But it's trying to get a solution that you devised, you delivered, you put heart and energy into. You're academics, you're clever, intellectual thinkers, and you're thinking the world needs this solution. So how do we achieve success, right? So we're just going to have a social media challenge, so you can call them out. And young lady in the back, if you don't get all of them, I'm going to be very disappointed. But there you go. So we have LinkedIn, and then we have Snapchat. Thank you very much. Is it Snapchat? It's Snapchat. Come on. This one. Yeah. Who likes the name X? Exactly. And this is big business. This is changing your future. This is changing your life. Meta. Right. These are people we're trusting to take over. Right. Pinterest.
Instagram.
Right, okay. So this is, everybody knows them already because they are influencing the world, all of these solutions, right? So I've got my great business idea and I'm going to tap into this because I'm going to tell the world how great I am. Yeah, you're going to tell the world how great you are. You're going to use these solutions because these solutions are the way we communicate, right? Now, I'm doing this talk, right? But all of you are far more intelligent than I am on the basis of you've got the biggest library in the world in your pocket. Yeah? Okay? So I had to walk down to the library to get a book out, and it was probably out because it was one of 50 people reading the same book. But you have access to that. But what are you doing with your time? You're watching that crap, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. And then you've got state influence in your thinking and everything like that. So you're getting influenced. Your thinking is getting influenced by state actors, individuals, and all that sort of thing, right? But you've got this commercial solution, but you're going to use all of those to tell the world about them. But you're spending all your time being influenced by it, so it's got to be the way, isn't it? But then the noise gets too much, and you can't get heard because there's noise, and that's before you've even started looking at your emails. So literally, I have gone on LinkedIn, I've done some YouTube to tell the world about this clever new solution that was working and operating, being used by people, but you can't get heard. And I'm getting contacted, inundated by people trying to sell me stuff, but I'm trying to influence them by selling them stuff, you know. Business, in my old profession, it was all actionable, as in you just had to act and do something. Business is transactional, yeah. Business is all about transactions. What can you do for me? What can I do for you? And everything like that. I didn't put a girl up there because I think my group here, gender equality, the girls need to do it as much as the boys and that sort of thing, but that was my thing. I didn't know what to put in the middle of somebody getting disturbed by noise, but there you go. Right, so what's your role in this environment of you devising solutions, you're doing work? So we all think in life, effort should result in reward, right? But the thing is that right? Or is the risk, if you risk more, should you get the reward, right? And I talk about this because this is about surviving in a corporate environment and all that. So my dad was a farmer in India, came here in the 60s. My mum never got the opportunity for an education, and she came here in the 60s with my father. She became a nurse in auxiliary, and they provided a great life for me, and they said, work hard and you will succeed. That's a bit of an Indian model, work hard, you will succeed, right? So, effort, if you're working hard, you should get a reward. But in business, if you deliver the risk, should you get the reward? And I say that because essentially, I started a business and I'm risking everything because I'm spending money before I've even started out of my pocket to make it win. And I've actually had employees that are more than me because they're valuable, because they're putting in effort, but they get some reward, but at the end of it, I want the reward to return to me. But in business, you're going to take all the risk, and you might get some of the reward, but you're going to put in a hell of a lot of effort. You're going to put money in there. But if you're an employee, yeah, you haven't got the risk, right? So you've got to think about how you operate in a corporate environment, where you're going to sit in that corporate environment. Do you want to be an employee or run a business? And that's why I wanted to talk to some of you today. Because if you're going to run a business, it's hard getting heard. Your delivery solution might be the best solution in the world, but if you're not heard, you're not going to thrive. So then you go back to being an employee in life. And if you get an employee in life, sometimes your boss is going to get more reward for your efforts than you get, right? So when my mum and dad said, work hard and you will succeed, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got to manage the politics. and you've got to network your arse off. Yeah, you've got to make contacts all over the place. And so from any age, networks give results. And and how we assess people, and business is very transactional, like I say, but as students, early age, any age at all, network, connections get you results and rewards more, as equally as much as effort does. Does that make sense? Thank you. It's challenging, and these are some of the things. So, like I say, I grew up, and mum and dad said, work hard, you can get a successful life, right? But you've got to be smart about what you do. And another thing is just about relationship. I'm going off tangent, talking about life, but just about relationships, right? Never settle for someone that accepts you as you are, because they're accepting that you can't be the best that you can be. Somebody that drives you and supports you and gets you to the end. It might be challenging, it might be difficult, but if you accept somebody for what they are, you're not driving them, and you need to drive and challenge yourself in whatever you do. So that effort always plays a part in it, and there's a risk to life in general. Sorry, that was an aside about, relationships and everything like that. But hey, challenge yourself. Effort, reward, whatever you want to do in business, you will dive into a world of risk. Some thrive, some die. Yeah. I'm hoping to be Richard Branson, not really, but he had 35 barrel companies before it took off, and Simon Cowell went up, went down, went up again. You literally, risk is significant, and you've got to decide what you want in that environment, what you're delivering. So if you're delivering clever solutions that everybody loves, you should get some reward for that. But do you want a safe life as an employee, or do you want a more difficult, challenging life as a business person? So, as I'm at university, are we doing all right, Paul? I'm going to talk quicker. I told you I hadn't done this before. I'm going to talk quicker, and I'm talking about my marriage, for goodness sake. Right, this is commercial academic opportunities, right? So government agencies and academics, R&D, research and development, what do you reckon? In regards to 100% investment for R&D for the big business, okay, how much is involved with academics and government institutions? Ballpark figure, anybody? 80?
5.
5. Let's go in the middle. Let's go for 50. Right. Nearly half of global R&D comes from academia, where you are, that sort of thing. So, literally, this is American stats, but the UK is pretty close. So, this is a great place to deliver new solutions, new science, new technology. So, study hard. Yeah? And so, the opportunities, if you're studying, right, and we got undergrads, significantly. The undergrads? Yeah? Okay. So this is targeted towards more research and doctorate, but knowledge transfer partnerships, our government will put individuals, academics, into commercial solutions to solve their problems. Yeah, and they'll fund part of the solution. So if you're coming up with academic solutions, and what I said about networking, if you want to get in with the business, if you're a student, you want to get in with the business, get in early. Network, get involved, solve their problems, they will love you. Okay? Don't think with algorithms and AI that you will get selected because what you write on a piece of paper is brilliant. Yeah? Think about how you have engaged the world and how you did. I mean, Boris Johnson got to Prime Minister. He was great. He was fantastic. He got to Prime Minister. Got some great networks. Although other Prime Ministers have equally done the same thing. Short-term research projects, that's attachments that this university offers. I wanted to go into that as in technical transfer officers and departments sit in universities. So engage with them, engage early, and intellectual property. Right, IP, everybody knows what IP is, tell me. IP is when you create something new, you protect it, and you can make money out of IP. Yeah, but you've got to protect your IP, and it's difficult in a neural network world we live in. Right, so this is CyberASAP, like I said. This is about commercial and academic solutions that ISS, and they give grant funding, and we got grant funding to deliver an academic solution that will become a commercial business. Innovate is a place that provides lots of funding for academic solutions, and then government grants. This one is an interesting one, I link. You have a presentation, Paul. Just that link is a current funding round for, I don't know, it's about 5 to 10 million of people coming up with different solutions. So literally, if you are generating solutions and ideas and innovation, there is grant funding you can get to deliver those. You have to be part of a business for an academic solution. However, there are a lot of grant funding opportunities because everybody wants to be ahead of the race. So, I'm moving on, and I'm moving quickly now. So, OSIRT is my company that I've just launched now, and this was an academic solution that was designed by Professor Joe Williams, and he had a problem presented to him. Law enforcement wanted to securely capture open source information to investigate people. So, if you fix people's problems, you can get into a work environment of sorts. So he had this challenge set to him, yeah? And a solved problem, and he found a solution to that problem, right? And it took off considerably. It's a browser, it was a browser allowed the capture of open source intelligence. Do you know what open source intelligence is? Just say yeah, no, if you don't. It literally is information and intelligence about bad actors or bad activities that are available openly because people post about it, they advertise it, and that's what they. But people leave a lot of breadcrumbs and trails and evidence online. So he created that solution, and it got 50,000 users all over the world. So this is one academic, one problem, 50,000 users across the world, law enforcement agencies. It was taught to different countries, and it was lots of presentations, very much in demand. But then it all got too much. One individual doing all of that. So then there was an application to this process, and I supported him through that process to get some academic money solutions. There's lots of grants available. So the only headline to this is there's money available for academic solutions in tech. Yeah? And then we got the grant funding, development commenced, and we took a long time agreeing the commercial solution with the university, but quite rightly, it's a complex procedure. Everybody's got to protect IP, and we launched OSIRT. So do you see what I've added there? A great businessman, right? And this is why I'm a great businessman, just not an average one. So I'm going to go back to, do you see that? Investigations are simplified. And now it's professionalised and simplified. How great is that?
So you're saying the browser on Chrome, is that means that it's just monitoring what people are doing?
No, it's not. It's manual operation. There's intelligence operators all over the place that are capturing and looking at activity. It doesn't scrap data. It doesn't scrape data because scraping data, you can collect lots of things. You spend half your time filtering the scraped data, right? So when you're launching a company, and this is why it's more challenging, right? If you've got a great idea and you think you're going to win, the challenges are, and I want you to openly go into this, there is a lot more reward that can be had. And like I said, this solution, they got £3 million investment. But if you're going to deliver a company, first of all, I'm over £10,000 down before I've stepped out the door. Yeah, because I've supported. Right, legal contracts cost you, the university help with that cost a good few thousand. Accountants, another few thousand. You've got to deliver a website. Yeah? So if you're going to deliver all of that, you've got to network and you've got to find individuals going to help you. And one of the advice that I offer to academic students is when you're going through this process, make a friend with a legal student that may help you decipher through. Find your networks, find your support networks, and do it smart. Yeah, do it smart, right? Don't just throw money away like that. But you've got to spend money for websites, email servers, product servers. Making a bank account these days is very difficult because of all sorts of checks and balances that banks have to do. It took us 3 months to open a bank account. So, if you haven't got a bank account, you can't make any money. Yeah. So, it's very challenging. So, don't always think. That's why people choose an easy life with employment, because it's straightforward. I dealt with murders, terrorists, robbers in my past life. That was a lot easier than running my own business. Yeah? Because it's challenging. Making sure the money's in the bank at the end of the month so everybody gets paid is challenging. Right? So customer support and contracts, customers. Business is great if it weren't for the customers. Yeah? So, literally. So, we launched a product, commercial trading began, and we've started trading from December last year, so we're 6 months into a new company. And we made money. And the reason we made money is because it's spent out of pocket and we're not taking a salary. So we're going through that risk phase. So when you're working for someone who's built their own business, so a good contact associate of mine started a cadre, yeah? 4 of them working in a garage. Just think about a solution, working hard. And now Ocado is where it is, but it all started from somebody in the garage thinking about what they're going to deliver, right? But you don't take a wage early days, so you need some support. You need a side hustle, yeah? So find a side hustle, wherever it is, yeah? Not killing humans, that's not right. So that's the solution that I offer, and I'm sharing this so you know the journey of an academic solution getting commercialised. So you can go to that, you can have a look at it and try it. It's an evidence capture website, and the story continues. So this is YouTube. But what we do, and it's a solution, there's a digital casebook and it captures evidence. And I think it's a clever little solution. We're selling it to law enforcement, we're selling it to agencies across the world at the moment. Not as many as I hoped that we would, but it's only just begun. Yeah? This little free advert for me. And it works on the dark web as well. So, At the end of all of this, I know I briefly touched on AI and the challenges around AI and things you have to think about around AI, but the reason I wanted to focus on that, I do think it's a future. If you invest in it now, it will bring a return if you get your head around it, but it's not right, as far as I'm concerned. So, on a training course years ago, I was told this, right? If not you, who? If not now, when? And that stuck with me. This is probably about 25 years ago. And that really is a mantra for me to live on. Get it done, challenge yourself. Right, now, at the end of this, I'm going to say add value to the world. But this is a call to the audience now. I'm starting a charity, yeah? And it's tackling kids who get involved in gang culture and knife crime. So I want to teach unfortunate kids how to code and deliver computer programs and solutions. And I'm going to talk to you, Peter, I think. So I need a course designed to deliver to schools. I've set up a foundation, I've got funding, and I'm going to deliver to kids. There's another couple of programs that are going to be delivered by this foundation. But if you want to get involved, just connect with me. I'm more than happy to help. I will introduce to anybody I know. And you'll have to forgive me. I was talking to Peter earlier, who was telling me about these significant individuals that he knows. And it's great. I'm now going to talk about a friend of mine. I was going to bring him here, but literally he wasn't available. But this is a guy I worked with years ago, and he's smiling. Guy I worked with years ago, and he just worked for me for a little while, and then he left. And we've stayed in touch over 27 years. For 6 months of his life, he got into a bad relationship. He was living in his van, yeah. And so we assessed these people, and we said, "You think somebody living in his van?" I didn't know he was living in his van. He wouldn't have lived in his van if I'd known. However, he lived in his van for 6 years, right? Now, he's probably the most inspirational person I know. He's worth probably about 7 or 8 figures. Yeah, but he's the same guy. He's absolutely the same guy that he was back then. So when you assess people and you look at people, don't look at what they've done, look at who they are. And that's why I think opportunity belongs to, this is a call to us, opportunity belongs to everyone. And that's what I want to do through this foundation. So if you're interested, contact me, and any contribution you can make. I'm looking to deliver a coding course for 12 weeks for all sorts of kids. Okay, that's it from me. First time I've done this talk, so literally, what time is it, people? 8:30, look at that.
Hang on, yeah. So thank you so much for your interesting presentation.
No, that's all right. I know he was covering a few subjects, but I wanted to get a message around that. Thank you for the audience participation, especially you, because it's always difficult.
Cool. So, so do we have any questions from the audience for Jeets about any of the topics he's talked about? Oh, yeah, at the back.
So, if you were in my position as a young person, what do you think the quickest and most efficient route into cyber security or software development, just general computer science as a business, what do you think the fastest and most efficient route would be?
Right. So, if you're going to deliver cyber security to and work as an employee, you need to get qualifications, because business assesses your qualifications, right? And they will do that. If you want to run your own business, you need to network, get solutions, work your backside off every day and find a problem. Right, if you want to change the world, you've got to influence users. If you want to deliver solutions, you've got to influence business. The way to influence business is fix problems for them. Yeah? So look at cybersecurity. Don't look at the standard solutions, like I say, anomalies in network patterns and all that sort of thing. a little beyond that. But nobody has the perfect answer. You make your own perfect answer.
Can you just say that bit again? If you want to change the world,
You influence users.
if
Like
you want to,
influence business, you fix problems.
Yeah. Nick.
I was just going to say to young chap about getting into cyber security. One of the things that we say to people wanting to get into this, I teach and lecture in cyber security and the work essential work that you did, Jeets. Get a blog because you can't prove to people what you do because you haven't got a job. So write a blog. First thing, you get a WordPress site offered, GoDaddy for £6, and then you get £10 a month, whatever it is to host it. Constantly post on some of the interesting things you do, but then use sites like TryHackMe and other ones, which have education things within it. And there's lots of people who we have looked at who have been doing blog posts and what they've learned in TryHackMe and other sites like that in order to demonstrate that they have the foundation competencies in these things. Because these platforms, they've got paid for versions, there's plenty of free versions as well. And that's the exact same sort of thing. I use TryHackMe is the one I always think of. It's one I recommend. But there's a whole load. If you want to get into industrial cybersecurity, you can go to, in the States, there's CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Agency, the Department of Homeland Security. They go right up to degree level online free training. You can sit and be assessed and achieve. If you achieve DHS, Department of Homeland Security, 401, pass that course, you've effectively got a degree in industrial cybersecurity. It's totally free.
So you need his contact details.
Just one more thing on a similar vein there as well. You can build up a Bitbucket or a GitHub account, and for a software development point of view, start uploading snippets of code that you wrote to there to build up a repository of examples of your work as well.
Just to add to what you talked about, in the fact that to get into cybersecurity. Incidentally, I finished from Leeds University. I did cybersecurity masters, and I also did computer science here. Today, I'm security assurance coordinator for the Ministry of Defense. So it is really something that we need to promote out there. And you did talk about certification, really, not just the fact that I'm a master's in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
I have CISM, I have CISSP, I'm also CITP, and also chartered involved in Institute of Information Security. So all that put together got me a leg in, and then, quite frankly, it's a good world out there.
And everybody is worried about cyber security.
Yeah.
And what the gentleman talked about is professional certification.
Yeah.
Which is recognised. It costs a bit.
Yeah.
But it is recognised by business because it just reduces the risk that we're all worried about.
Absolutely. I mean, and there's a lot of funding, really. I mean, once you get in the Ministry of Defense does have a lot of learning portal stuff that you can do and paid off for. So I think it's something that needs to be looked into, and I'm happy that I was a product of this university.
Brilliant.
And quite frankly, I'm flying out there.
Good man, well done.
So I have a question. One more question.
I mean, this is the business side of things you're talking about. I just want to understand. The whole world is racing towards AI solutions.
Yeah.
Now it's more of, do you go fast or do you go quality? That trade-off is happening nowadays.
Right. So I think AI is turning a corner now, and they're looking at quality, not quantity. Yeah. However, you've got to go quick in producing the quality, right? But there's going to be all eyes may be looking overhead, you need to look across the horizon. And the way you shape the future significantly is you see what people are going to be doing in 10, 20 years and deliver that. But, you know, I cannot predict the future, but I wish I could.
Cool. I think we'll wrap up on that note. Can I get a round of applause for Jeets?